Hello, today I'll be showing you how to install FulcrumBot onto Windows 7 running on a virtual machine. We'll be using VMware 11. Simply open it up, click Create a new virtual machine, either here or under File. Click Next, select the Windows 7 or 8.1 ISO. Next again, enter a serial if you have one, select the operating system type. Select what you want the name of the virtual machine to be, as well as what directory and folder you want it to be installed in. I'll be installing it on my F drive, which is a 120GB SSD. For performance reasons, I'll be storing it as a single file, and since this is a test run, I'll be using 30GB. You may be able to use 20GB or 15GB. Right? This is not enough RAM, so we'll go to Customize Hardware. We'll up the RAM to 4GB and change the processors to 2. This should be able to run 5 League of Legends. We'll go to Network Adapter, change this to Bridged, and replicate the physical network. Sound card, we don't need this. A printer, we do not need this. And display, we'll change this to 1024 by 768. And 1GB of graphics should be fine. You may be able to go lower. You can test and find out. Close, finish. You'll create the file on the disk and then boot up the system. Okay, Windows is now installed. VMware will install its toolkit. For the network, simply select Home or Work and trust all future networks. I'll go ahead and select Home. You can uncheck all of these. Alright, it looks like VMware Tools installed successfully. There it is. I like to display all of the bottom right icons so I know what's happening. Next up, we'll be running Windows Update. But before that, let's optimize Windows in the VM. Simply right-click Computer, go to Properties, go to Advanced System Settings. Under Performance, click Settings, adjust for best performance, and apply. Next up, go to Advanced, click Change under Virtual Memory, uncheck Automatic Manage Page File, and select No Page File. Click Set, Yes, OK, OK, OK. This will make it where your operating system uses the RAM more than the hard drive. Next up, we'll disable the hibernation. Simply open the Start menu, type in CMD, right-click CMD, and run as administrator. Yes. We'll type in power cfg/hibernate space off. This turns off hibernation and saves hard drive space. Right? Now for things to take effect, we'll need to reboot the system. Alright, next up we'll run Windows updates. Simply go to Start, All Programs, and run Windows Update. It is turned off by default. We don't want it to automatically update while the bot is running, so we'll just go to Change Settings. We'll say check for updates and let me know when to update, when I should update. This way I'll notify you, but it won't automatically install them. Install all updates, and then afterward you can start installing League of Legends and FulcrumBot. While this is running, let's go ahead and change personalize the desktop and screensaver, as well as sound. So sounds, we don't have a sound card, so we can go ahead and select no sounds. Apply, okay. There's no screensaver, so that's fine. Let's go to the control panel and configure power savings. So in power options, just go to high performance, that's fine. Let's change settings, change advanced power settings. Let's go ahead and look at the hard disk. We don't want to turn off the hard disk ever. We never want to go to sleep. For the display, you never want to turn off the display since it is in a virtual machine. Click apply, okay. Turn off the display. Let's go ahead and select never here as well. Save settings. There you go. Your power options are correctly configured. I'll fast forward to the end of the Windows updates. So initially you will have a lot of updates. As you can see here, there are 190 even with Service Pack 1. Let's go ahead and install them all. While running the final updates for Windows, it should install Microsoft.NET Framework 4.5.2. If this is not the case, then you'll have to manually install it, which will be shown later. Once all updates are done installing, you should check for updates one more time, and if nothing shows up, you're ready to install the pre-requirements to FulcrumBot as well as League of Legends. Let's go ahead and do that now. You can find out the requirements by going to FulcrumBot.com. Going to Announcements, Purchasing, Downloading, and Features. And here are your requirements as well as the download link. Let's go ahead and save this to the desktop. You may get this message, and it's okay though. And antivirus may go off as well, as the obfuscation is classified as a packed exe. This is a false positive and only protects the source code. Now if you run all the Windows updates, you should not have to install Microsoft Net Framework 4.5.2. But we'll go ahead and download it and see what happens. You can either wait the 30 seconds or click here. I'll go ahead and run it. Dismiss this. Yes. And Microsoft.NET 4.5.2 is already installed, so there's no reason to install it again. If it is not installed, go ahead and install it. Next up is installing Microsoft Visual C++ redistributable. Download, and you can either download the x86 or 64. I recommend the x86. Click next. You can either wait 30 seconds or click here. Then click here again. Alright, I'll go ahead and run it. I agree. Install. Yes. And thus, Microsoft Visual C++ 2012 redistributable is now installed. Now let's go download and install League of Legends. Go to leagueoflegends.com. If you don't have an account, you can create one by clicking Play Now. I'll go ahead and make a test account. Username will be FulcrumBot test1. Password can be anything. Email can be anything. I recommend using a real email if you plan on selling the account. That way you can verify it, as well as give the buyer the account information. Alright, you need birthday. I agree. And you need to enter the CAPTCHA. Now, depending on what region you can want to play on, you can change it by going to eu.leagueoflegends.com, land.leagueoflegends.com, etc. Also, it can be changed at the sign up page. I'll go ahead and download the game from here. I'll go ahead and save this since it's we'll be downloading other files from it as well. Alright, now that I have League of Legends downloaded, FulcrumBot downloaded, as well as the pre-requirements, let's go ahead and install League of Legends. You can go there by going to Start, whatever your username is, and Downloads. There's League of Legends. Let's go ahead and run it. next, I agree, next, next. This will install the pre-requirements for League of Legends if you're missing any. We'll go with the default location. You can also put this on another drive if you like. It's recommended to put it on the C drive though. Yes. This will install Microsoft Visual C++ 2005 SP1. Yes, yes. Yes. If you're copying League of Legends from another drive, be sure to also install it manually so you have the pre-requirements as well. Yes. Alright, let's launch League of Legends. You can now delete the League of Legends install. Also, when deleting things, you can change your recycle bin properties to don't move anything and delete it immediately. Also, to help save on hard drive space, you can go to Start, right click Computer, then Properties, go to Advanced System Settings, go to System Restore, Configure, turn it off. Set it to the lowest setting and go ahead and delete the current ones that are saved. Alright, it looks like League of Legends did not start up, so I'll start it again. Accept the EULA as well as the disclaimer. Wait for League of Legends to update. Change the region if you so desire. Once League of Legends is updated, go ahead and launch it and log into your main account or test account. I'll be logging into one of my old referral accounts. On North America. Go ahead and click Play, Custom, Create Game, Start Game, yes, select any champion. We'll be setting up the in-game configuration once the game is loaded, including video and sound settings. As you can see, League of Legends is loading fine on the VM. If for some reason it does not load, then something is wrong with your VM settings. Once in game, go to Video, change your graphics to very low, change full screen to windowed. You can uncheck character inking, change uncapped to 25 FPS, and uncheck wait for a vertical sync. Under sound, you can disable all sound and click OK. Your PC is now set up for League of Legends. Go ahead and press escape and exit game. Go ahead and close the LOL client. Go to where you downloaded FulcrumBot, I downloaded it into the downloads folder. If you run it as is, you may receive an error that FulcrumBot communication port 1013 is in use. If this happens, you can either right click and run as administrator, go to properties, compatibility, and run this program as an administrator. Click apply and OK. When running it the first time, it will download updates from the FulcrumBot.com website. As you can see, it's downloading updates. You'll create a core folder and download them there. Once everything is done downloading, you can click the start button. This folder should be where you install League of Legends. Since I installed it in the default folder, I'll leave it as is. You should receive a serial in your email if you purchase this product. Otherwise, it may be a free trial weekend, in which case you can enter the serial trial to test out the bot. Now that the core files have been updated, you can now start the bot. Let's go ahead and start it without a serial and see what happens. As expected, it says missing serial from email. So let's go ahead and put in an invalid serial. See what happens. As you can see, it says 1 to 3 was not found in the database. Okay, let's try it with trial. And still using these usernames and passwords. If we click start, nothing will happen because you have not entered a username or password. Let's click stop and enter the username that we used earlier. For the passwords, as you can see them in plain sight. In a future release, once you enter the password, these will change to asterisks so it's more secure. If you were to, let's say, share the monitor. Disabling graphics greatly saves on RAM and CPU, which I will demonstrate by opening the task manager. Alright, this account is not on EUS. Let's see what happens when we click start. It should connect to EUS and says wrong username and password. If you have other accounts here that are actually on EUS, it will connect to them and join the queue. Otherwise, it will just show wrong username and password. Let's click stop. Select North America. Click start. As you can see, it says connecting to North America, connected, logged in to Rushings 30, searching for match. Once a match is found, it will accept the pop. If an enemy dodges, it will rejoin the queue. Once a match is found and everyone accepts, it will lock in a random champion and choose summoner spells based off of your level. As you can see, this account is level 10, has 997 IP and 140 RP, and there's the summoner ID as well. In a future release, you will be able to click the summoner ID as a hyperlink, and it will either go to op.gg, lolking, or lolnexus, and you'll be able to see what your stats are. It may take some time for it to find a match depending on how busy or not busy the server is. From level 1 to 6, it plays co-op versus AI and robots. From level 6 to 30, it plays normal ARAM, selecting a random champion. In a future release, you'll be able to select what game mode you want it to play as. Playing from 1 to 6 in co-op versus AI intro, and then from 6 to 30 in ARAM gives the most XP and IP possible. As you can see, an enemy dodged and it's searching for a match again. A match has now been found and it accepted the pop queue. Once everyone accepts the pop queue, it will lock in a random champion and chooses some nurse spells, ignite, and heal. Now if everyone logs in, it will only take 30 seconds for the game to start. If one person does not log in, it will take a total of 90 seconds for the game to start. Let's wait until the game is loaded. As you can see, it is now loading League of Legends. Now if you notice, there was a console window that popped in the background. Let's look at that. This is from the bot. As you can see, a lot of error messages show up. These do not matter, as it does not affect the bot at all. It is simply saying that certain textures and graphics cannot be found. Now then, it's now in the game. Let's look at the task manager. It is using 227 megabytes. Now then, since I did click that console window, it hid it instead of the League of Legends window. Otherwise, the League of Legends window would be hidden. So once everyone is loaded into the game, I will close League of Legends, the process, let it reload. And you'll be able to actually see the console of the AI and what it's doing in the game. Now once it's actually in the game and everyone is loaded, RAM usage should go up to 300 megabytes. Let's wait for that. Alright, it is at now 290 megabytes, so it should be loaded into the game with everyone else. So we'll go ahead and stop this, and FulcrumBot will restart it. This time I won't tab over to the console. Okay, as you can see, these error messages again are from missing graphics and textures, so it's nothing to worry about. League of Legends has been hidden in the background process. As you can see, it's using 245 megabytes. Since it's loading, it'll use a fair bit of CPU. Alright, now it's in the game. As you can see, the AI is now moving to turret T1. In a future release, this information, excluding the errors, will be shown in the FulcrumBot UI. So instead of saying in-game, it will actually say attacking, or moving behind, or moving to, or attacking a champion. Now then, if you look at the RAM usage, it's 329 megabytes. CPU usage is a bit high. And then goes back down low. If the CPU usage is high enough, you can simply click the console window, and then click another window. The CPU goes high when the main League of Legends window is active. Since it was maximized and minimized and hidden, it was still active. That's why it was showing 50% at one point. In a future release, FulcrumBot will be always the active window. And League of Legends will stay steady around 3 to 5% CPU, depending on what your processor is, as well as 300 megabytes of RAM usage. Okay, on my main PC, I already have Firefox open, going to op.gg, and I've already typed in my server name. Let's go ahead and renew the data, or reload the page. Alright, so as you can see, it's detected it's in game. So let's spectate this game. I'll simply click spectate. OPGG will send me a bat file. I'll save it. I already have League of Legends installed on this PC, on my main PC. So I'll go ahead and launch the bat file. And this loads League of Legends. Alright, let's say you want to spectate the game on your computer or on another computer. On the main OS, go to op.gg.com, enter the server name, and scan for it. I've already entered mine, and it says it's in the game. I'll click spectate. This will download a .bat file. I'll save it and launch it. This will load League of Legends, where I can watch what the FulcrumBot is doing. If you don't remember, the name was Rushings30. So here he is, playing Pantheon. It's already bought a few items, as you can see. And it's also leveled up spells. Let's watch it use skills. So there, a champion got in its range, used 2 of its spells, it used another, and it will keep using them when they're off cooldown and they're a champion, as you can see. And it received a double kill. Its current score is 450 in ARAM, and it's now bought 3 items. Mind you, this is 3 minutes. There is a 3-minute delay in viewing. So once the bot starts, you will have to wait 3 minutes before you can spectate it. If you want to see what it's doing immediately, you can enable the graphics, which takes up more RAM and CPU, or you can simply look at the console. If you have any questions or comments or feedback, please be sure to go to FulcrumBot.com. You can type in the shout box, but if you have a serious question or a question other people may want to know about, please report it or ask it in the help and technical support. Also leave feedback in the feedback forum. If you would like to purchase the bot, go to announcements, purchasing, downloading features, and you can buy it now from PayPal. If you don't receive an email, please email FulcrumBotVideos@gmail.com with your PayPal email, and we will forward the serial to you. But it should be in your email inbox. Also check your junk folder if need be. Thank you, and have fun botting.